Hello everyone, this is Rish, and we are going to talk about what is Synapse SDK. It would be followed by a short demonstration around Akave, which is our second track for Eat Global New Delhi, and the third track is for like Lighthouse. So we would be also talking about how you would be able to integrate Lighthouse and what's new around that. So let's start with having a look at the demo application of Synapse SDK. All right, so let's just check out the FS-Upload app, which is a full stack application which integrates Synapse SDK with Next.js, and like you can just quickly like integrate this inside your application in a similar manner. But before that, there are some prerequisites that you need to take care of. The first one is you need to get some testnet field tokens on Filecoin calibration testnet. For that, you can always reach out to this particular faucet. And the next one is like you need to get some USDFC tokens as well. Now USDFC tokens are the stable coins on Filecoin network. So for now, since we are doing it on like Filecoin calibration testnet, we would be getting some testnet USDFC tokens. All right, so you can just get that from the faucet too. Now the next step is like cloning the repository. You can also have a look at a detailed tutorial which we have, which explains more or less almost everything that you might be needing to learn about what is Synapse SDK, the JS TypeScript SDK which is there, how the smart contract based market platform for collection of like services which are derived from the Filecoin ecosystem, such as like which includes like the Filecoin on-chain payment services, the hot storage, and lots of like stuff around retrieval service. We'll have a look at each one of them, but like you can, if you are following along with this video, just start with cloning the repository, installing the dependencies, and just after that you acquire all the testnet tokens. You can run the application using the command npm run dev, and you should be good to go. Before we actually head over towards the application, which I have opened already in the other tab, like I have the development set up ready. I've already cloned the repository, but before that there's some function that you need to like look into. First one is like around like balances and storage mechanism, which is followed by how the payments or like the functions that are responsible or like will help you to get the details around like USDFC, which are followed by like file upload functionalities and some dataset related functions or hooks, I would rather say. So these are all like the custom hooks which would enable you to you can just indicate this hook inside your front end application and you would be good to go. So how does the payment work? It's like we need to first like get some rate allowance, for which like we would be like approving some amount of USDFC. The second transaction would be followed by transferring that, and the last one would be locking up the allowance. So there will be like three-step process which we will be required. I guess like it's a good time now to actually head over towards application and see it in action. So yeah, there's a short video demonstration as well which would help you to actually what's happening and like what things are required. All right, so yeah, so pretty much like if you just see like whatever transactions which we are doing is something that we need to do on this application. So at the moment my fill balance 104, USDFC balance 4, good enough. Warm storage balance is awesome again. Rate allowance at the moment is like 10 GB, which is more than sufficient. And I have already made the got some allowance which I've been doing in this particular like step. So you just need to deposit and increase the allowance as per your dataset demand is. All right, so next step is uploading the file. So what you can do is just head over this and pick up any maybe like any like image for that matter. Just hit the submit button. It will start to initialize the file upload and set up the storage service. It will then connect to a storage provider, and once all the data pieces are ready to be added to a dataset, it will start creating a dataset for you. As soon as you sign the transaction, it would wait for the transaction to be confirmed. Once the transaction is confirmed, you would be able to see your dataset in the view dataset section. So all the dataset which you have uploaded so far would be able to see, you would be able to see it here. You can see the content identifier, you would be able to download the image as well, and that's how like you can retrieve the data that you are storing onto this platform. So you can store like any sort of data on Filecoin on-chain cloud, which is powered by Synapse SDK.
Everyone, I'm Abhay, software engineer at Akave, and in this workshop, we'll talk about what is Akave Cloud, what is Akave O3 and walk through a demo of Akave O3 and the tracks and prices offered by Akave at ETH Global New Delhi. So first, let's look at what is Akave and Akave Cloud. Basically, Akave provides an S3 compatible API, that is Akave O3, which works well with already existing uh, AWS S3 compatible SDKs and Web2 apps such as Snowflake. And it provides up to 80% cost savings because of no egress cost. And the files uploaded to Akave are immutable by default, uh, providing data integrity and verifiability on top of your data. And user encryption, user controlled data encryption and access. AI agents can act agently on data. Okay, so now let's look at the architecture. How Akave Cloud, that is a hosted Akave O3 service, works. So let's say you are migrating a bucket from AWS S3 to Akave O3. How would that look? So first of all, you'll use S3, migration tool, that is rclone. So once data is injected using O3 into Akave, the the data itself goes through Akave SDK and the metadata is stored in the immutable ledger, that is Akave's blockchain, and the data itself is distributed among Akave nodes and stored in a decentralized manner. Okay, so now let's look at demo. Okay, let me move myself here. Okay, so for O3 demo, we'll be using AWS CLI to demonstrate how compatible Akave O3 is with AWS S3. And similarly, you can use any SDK that is S3 compatible. And so let's go. FYI, I've already configured my credentials using AWS configure. So it would look like I'm just using S3 APIs, but in the backend, I'm using uh, yeah, Akave O3. So let me show that to you. Okay. So as you can see here in the default, there is a region Akave network and the endpoint URL is O3RC2. That's what you guys will be using for Hackathon. Okay. So let's begin. AWS S3 MS. So this command lists all the bucket that I currently have. So for example, I only have the test bucket. I'll quickly create a new bucket for this demo, a global demo. We just created a new bucket. Let's list that bucket. It would be empty because we haven't uploaded any file yet. Okay, so I have a test file, which is 100 MB. Let's create a 100 MB test file, 1 MB. Okay, now we'll copy this 1 MB test file to our newly created bucket. So let's do that. As we can see, the upload has been successful. Now we'll list the bucket again. And as you can see here, that is a test 1 MB file.txt that we just uploaded, and the bytes are same, so there has been no modification in your data. Okay, so one more thing to point out is the versioning is enabled by default for Akave buckets. So now let me showcase that to you. S3 API. As you can see, the version V1 versioning was enabled by default, and we have currently version V1. Now, if we edit the file and upload it again to the same bucket, we'll see a version 2 of this file. Okay, let's create a let's randomize and create the same file with same name again. Now we'll copy over the same file once more to create a new version of same file. Okay, let's take a look. List output versions. And as you can see, the edited file, that is the new file with the same name, was uploaded as a version 2, uploaded with a version 2 version ID. So that's how you can version your files. So if your app or, I mean, app needs to modify the data somehow. So you can take this into consideration that the versioning is enabled by default as compared to AWS S3. You don't need to do anything else. You just need to upload the same file to the same bucket again with different data. Okay, so now let's take a look at what happened to our data once we uploaded it. So client-side encryption, if you want to encrypt your data, you can enable the encryption to the CLI or the SDK, whatever you are using. Then the data gets encrypted. The encrypted data blocks are erasure coded using Reed-Solomon erasure coding algorithm, and the data blocks and parity blocks are created. So when all the data blocks are ready, it's uploaded to Akave network. So up until here, everything's happening client side. The data is getting erasure coded client side, and the data is uploaded to Akave network. Then when you are trying to retrieve that file, these blocks are collected again and using read Solomon recovery. If the data is lost, it will be repaired and the original file will be served to you. Okay, so let's talk about price structure during this hackathon. So we have three prices, that is $1,250, $750, and $500 uh, respectively. And there are few tricks. So this time we are not giving an open challenge statement, but a closed one. To be eligible for submission, you need to lie among one of these tracks. So you can choose AI/ML datasets and checkpoints, cross-cloud analytics, that is using Snowflake, Apache Iceberg, and deep in ingest or immutable data backup or data recovery. So if you don't know where to start, you have provided a starter guide in the ETH Global dashboard. You can go there and take a look at it, or find us at our booth, Protocol Labs booth, and we'll be able to help you out. So that's it about Akave. Thank you for watching.
I'm Akash, a software engineer at Lighthouse, and in this workshop, I'll take you through the Lighthouse bounty for each global New Delhi. Quick intro: I built developer tooling at Lighthouse, so you can store data, keep it private, and access control them directly from your app. Today, I'll show you an end-to-end flow on how you can upload data, control access, and what do we expect to see at the hackathon. Plus, I'll also show you a sample app towards the end. So first, let's talk about Lighthouse. Lighthouse is the permanent decentralized solution on Filecoin with built-in encryption and access control. You can upload your file publicly or encrypted, fetch them via CID from IPFS gateway, and you can also control them with access conditions, with on-chain access conditions like a wallet which holds a certain token or an address which is on the allow list so you can access the file. Now you can do everything from the UI or programmatically via the JS and the Python SDK. Now let's head over to the files tab and see how we can upload a file. Okay, now let's log into Lighthouse. So either you can log in via email or Google or GitHub account, or either you can choose one of the provided wallets. Let's choose MetaMask for now. I'll click confirm and I'm logged into the app. Now let's try to upload an image on the dashboard. I'll click on upload new, upload a file, and I'll choose the image. That's it. You'll be able to see the CID here, and you can click and open the image. Now, if you want to upload an encrypted image, you can just turn on the encryption from here and then upload a new file again. I click on this. So it will ask me to confirm the signature. I click confirm. So what happens here is that the file is going to be encrypted first and then it will be uploaded to IPFS. The file stored is encrypted and required decryption right to access. Now, yeah, the file is uploaded. And for the programmatic use, let's head over to the API key and create an API key for now. Let's give it a name of test1. Are you sure you want to generate? Yes. So this API key isn't stored on Lighthouse, so you won't be able to recover it. So just either copy it to the clipboard or download the key. So now as the API key is ready, I'll show you how you can look into the docs. Okay. Now let's head over to the docs. Now here you have four essential tabs to look at. First one is uploading a file. So in this you have three methods to upload a file using the JS SDK or the API or the CLI. The JS SDK has two methods to upload. First one is in the Node.js or in the browser itself. Then you have a text upload using the lighthouse.upload text. You can use it to upload any text on the Lighthouse. The next one is the Lighthouse.uploadEncrypted, which is used to upload any encrypted file on the Lighthouse itself. It again has two methods. First one is a Node.js and another is the browser. And the last one are the encryption features. There are multiple encryption features that you can use in the Lighthouse itself. First one is the share file, which can be used to share any file and access to any file to a wallet address. You can also revoke the access using revoke access or set any token conditions, any token getting conditions to a file and use the check access condition to view those conditions. Okay, cool. Now we have got the basics covered. But how do we make this data worth anything? How do the contributors get paid for their data? Here's where the data coin shows up. Think of them as a ticket to the private data. So let's head over to 1mb.io and let's create a data coin. Okay, so this is the website. Click on the create data coin. Now here it will ask you to enter the information of the coin. Let's enter the information name. Let's give it pop rewards. Pop stands for proof of purchase. I'll give it a symbol of POP. Let's upload an image. This is the logo of the coin. This is the banner image. Okay. Uh, for the website, let's give it https of rewards Versal.io. Let's click on next. Here you can enter the social information of the token. I'm skipping it for now. And here you can enter the token allocation information. So we can select the chain from here. Let's select base Sepolia for now, or maybe each Sepolia for now. Here you can set the vesting period. I'm keeping it to 6 months. Then you can keep the other default information as it is. And for the locking assets, you can select either of these. I'm selecting USDC and the locking amount to be $100. And I click on submit data. So now the data coin has been created successfully. If you prefer a programmatic approach, we also have a script for you to create the data coin. This is the script, and the link to this GitHub repo will be there in the description. Now that the data coin exists, here's what we want you to make for the Lighthouse bounty. Build a small project where real users can upload private data and earn something useful right away. We want you to take the user's private data, verify it, maybe using zkTLS, and then upload it on the Lighthouse. If you think that the data is sensitive and useful, encrypt it with a access condition and create the decryption with an allow list. Let me show you a sample app that we have created for you to understand the concept. So this is the pop rewards. It's a proof of purchase app for your Amazon order history. So basically, this app lets you prove your Amazon orders and gives you reward on the basis of that. So I'll start by clicking on start earning. I'll choose MetaMask. Connect. So here I am logging in as a user to see the app. As soon as I'm logged in, I will be redirected to the dashboard. So this is the dashboard, and here you can see all the proofs that the user has submitted in the past. Now, if I click on the add data, it will take me to the reclaim page. So this is the reclaim QR code that the user can scan and prove their Amazon history with the help of reclaim. So as soon as the user proves his order history, the reclaim will give us the proof on the front end, and we'll verify this proof on the back end. And after the proof has been verified, we will upload the user's data, which is relevant to us, that is the order history in this case, to the Lighthouse. And after uploading the data to the Lighthouse, we will mint some pop tokens that we have created in the last step to the user's wallet. That's it. That's the loop. So turn a dataset into a token, attach a real value to it, and let people who need it pay for the access. Congrats. Now you can earn from your hackathon project. That's it about the Lighthouse. Thank you for watching.